In a world where bravery and teamwork are held in the highest regard, few groups embody these traits better than the elite members of the Navy SEALs. These highly trained individuals undergo intense physical and mental preparation, transforming them into some of the most skilled operatives in the United States military. With rigorous training that includes everything from hand-to-hand combat to advanced survival techniques, SEALs are always ready to face the toughest challenges. Among them was a remarkable SEAL named Jason. Known for his exceptional skills and unwavering determination, he had completed multiple missions around the globe. His experiences in high-pressure situations earned him respect, not just from his fellow SEALs, but also from many civilians who admired the dedication these operatives showed. Jason had a reputation for being both a fierce warrior and a thoughtful leader. Jason's eyes sparkled with mischief and confidence as he entered a room filled with diverse individuals at a charity event meant to raise awareness for veterans. The atmosphere buzzed with excitement. People mingled, shared stories, and enjoyed the food. It was a gathering that celebrated not just military service, but also camaraderie among different walks of life. As he moved through the crowd, Jason greeted friends and acquaintances, each interaction sparking laughter and warmth. As the evening progressed, Jason noticed a group of people gathered around a table that seemed to be sharing particularly animated stories. He approached them with his usual charm, ready to join in on the fun. Among the group was a young woman named Sarah, who had recently shared her own adventures in volunteering with veterans. She was bright and engaging, her laughter infectious. With his typical playful spirit, Jason decided to lighten the mood even further. He leaned into the conversation and jokingly asked Sarah, "So, what's your kill count?" His tone was light-hearted, completely devoid of malice, meant to provoke laughter rather than fear. It was a classic SEAL joke, one that often relied on surprising others with its audacity. However, instead of chuckling along as he expected, the room fell silent. Everyone turned to look at Sarah, holding their breath in anticipation of her reaction. It was a bold question, one that could easily be taken the wrong way, but they all knew Jason well enough to trust his intentions were harmless. Still, they wondered how she would respond. Sarah paused for a moment, her expression shifting from surprise to a glint of determination in her eyes. She stood up straight and met Jason's gaze with unwavering confidence. In that brief moment of silence, it felt as if time had stopped. The room awaited her answer like it held a secret that could either break the tension or escalate it further. With poise and wit, Sarah replied in a way no one saw coming. Her response had an unexpected bite that would echo throughout the room long after the night ended. It was this moment, this powerful exchange between two worlds, military and civilian, that marked the start of an unforgettable evening filled with laughter, understanding, and newfound respect for one another. The charity event was held in a spacious community center, decked out with banners that celebrated veterans and their achievements. Colorful lights twinkled above, creating a warm and inviting atmosphere. Long tables were lined with delicious food spread out for everyone to enjoy, the enticing aromas drifting through the air. Soft music played in the background, adding to the cheerful vibe as attendees mingled and chatted. People filled the room, each sharing their own stories and experiences. Veterans and civilians alike gathered together to honor the service of those who had fought for their country, creating an environment that buzzed with camaraderie. Many guests wore pins or hats proudly displaying their military affiliations, while others dressed casually, eager to learn more about the lives of those who served. In one corner of the room, a small stage awaited presentations about various charitable causes supporting veterans. A brief program was planned for later in the evening, with speakers ready to share heartfelt messages about resilience and support. Guests could sign up for raffle prizes, with all proceeds going to programs that helped veterans transition back into civilian life. Laughter mixed with conversations filled the air, symbolizing how people from different backgrounds could come together for a common cause. As Jason entered the room, his presence drew attention. He moved through the crowd confidently, stopping to greet familiar faces and exchanging friendly banter with friends. The energy around him was contagious. People enjoyed talking to someone who had not only faced challenges, but also understood the weight of their experiences. His reputation as a Navy SEAL preceded him, and many appreciated both his bravery and approachable demeanor. Groups formed at various tables where friends shared anecdotes from their lives. Sarah was among those gathered near one of the food stations. She had volunteered her time to assist veterans returning home and was eager to share her experiences. The table buzzed with enthusiasm as stories flowed freely about military service, personal triumphs, and lessons learned. Jason observed this lively group from a distance before making his way over to join them. He could sense their energy. The laughter, smiles, and animated discussions sparked genuine curiosity in him. As he approached, he felt inspired by the mixing of different perspectives represented at this gathering. Once he settled in among them, Jason felt right at home. The laughter was infectious, pulling him into their conversations as he shared tales of his own training and missions. He valued moments like these where he could connect with others outside of military life while promoting understanding between civilians and servicemen. It was within this vibrant setting that Jason decided to inject some humor into the evening. Playfulness flowed naturally from him as he leaned towards Sarah and posed his joking question about her kill count. Little did he know that this light-hearted remark would soon lead to an unexpected pause in the room's lively rhythm, a moment that would shift the dynamics of their gathering entirely. As the conversations flowed and laughter filled the air, Jason felt a wave of comfort wash over him. Everyone around him was engaged in storytelling, collectively reminiscing about their experiences with humor and warmth. Inspired by the lively atmosphere, he decided it was time to inject a little playful banter into the mix. With a grin stretching across his face, Jason turned his attention to Sarah, who was animatedly discussing her volunteer work with veterans. He admired her passion and how easily she connected with those around her. Wanting to contribute to the fun, he leaned slightly closer and, in a mock-serious tone, asked, "So what's your kill count?" The humorous nature of his question hung in the air like a mischievous cloud. His smile hinted that he didn't mean any harm. Rather, it was a typical SEAL joke meant to surprise and amuse. Jason's tone was light, suggesting camaraderie rather than confrontation. He wasn't expecting anything more than laughter, or perhaps a playful retort in return. However, as soon as the words left his lips, an unexpected stillness settled over the room. Conversations halted mid-sentence, and all eyes darted towards Sarah. It was as if someone had pressed a pause button on the lively gathering. The humorous intent behind Jason's comment suddenly felt layered with weight. Those present were acutely aware that discussions of kill counts often carried much darker implications within military contexts. Jason remained oblivious to the shift in energy as he maintained his confident stance, hoping for Sarah's laughter or witty comeback to break the tension. He had been in countless high-stakes situations where humor served as an ally. This instance was no different. At least he thought so. Yet Sarah paused thoughtfully, her expression shifting from surprise to determination. Those around them held their breath in anticipation. They knew Jason well enough to trust his intentions were harmless, but wondered how Sarah would respond to such an audacious question. In that brief moment of silence, a heartbeat stretched into eternity. Jason realized that perhaps he had crossed an invisible line. The room seemed to lean forward collectively, waiting for Sarah's reaction. Would she laugh it off? Would she take offense? Would she respond with equal wit? As the atmosphere thickened with suspense, Jason felt the gravity of their exchange deepen. This wasn't just a casual comment anymore. It now represented a dialogue between two worlds, the military and civilian life, with both sides bringing their own interpretations of humor and bravery into play. Finally breaking the silence, Sarah stood tall and met Jason's gaze directly. With unwavering confidence and sharp wit, she prepared to respond in a way that would not just answer his question, but also redefine how everyone perceived jokes like his at such gatherings. Her reply would echo through the room long after that night ended, a response that promised to transform not only their conversation, but also the essence of their evening together. As the silence stretched on, all eyes were fixed on Sarah. The room felt electric, filled with anticipation for her response. Jason stood there, unsure whether his joke had landed or if he had inadvertently stepped into a minefield of social awkwardness. But Sarah, poised and unyielding, broke the tension in the most unexpected way. With a slight smirk dancing on her lips and an unwavering gaze locked onto Jason's, she replied, "Well, Jason, let's see. My kill count is 0. The room held its breath, still caught in the lull of uncertainty. "But my save count is much higher, especially for those who need it." She punctuated her words with a playful nod to the veterans present, showcasing not just her humor, but also her mission to help. Her response was electric. It captivated everyone and transformed the atmosphere completely. Laughter erupted spontaneously as relief washed over the group. It was clear that Sarah had taken Jason's audacious joke and turned it into something beautiful, a clever reminder of the value of life and support over confrontation. Her confidence radiated through the room, revealing layers of strength that were not only impressive, but inspirational too. Jason couldn't help but break into a wide smile, realizing he had underestimated her ability to navigate such an intense moment with grace. He appreciated that she didn't shy away from addressing him directly. Instead, she met his banter head-on with wit and charm. "Oh yeah? Well," he countered playfully, "maybe I should enlist for your saving team instead," prompting more chuckles from those around them. The exchanges continued as guests jumped into the conversation, sharing their own light-hearted banter regarding their counts. Each person riffing off Sarah's bold retort helped restore a sense of unity among attendees, military and civilian alike, as they celebrated what really mattered, their shared experiences and connections as humans. Jason marveled at how one unexpected response had transformed not only their dialogue, but also fostered deeper connections within this diverse gathering. People began to feel more comfortable opening up about their own stories following that moment, using Sarah's example as inspiration to lean into vulnerability while still keeping things lighthearted. As laughter mingled once again with music in the background, Sarah became the unofficial star of the evening. Many approached her afterward to express admiration for her quick thinking and poise. It made a big impression on everyone present. In that pivotal moment, both Jason's humor and Sarah's ready wit fostered a bridge between their worlds, the military mindset clashing humorously yet respectfully with civilian experiences, and ultimately led to genuine connection among attendees. What began as a risky joke blossomed into an unforgettable highlight of the night, a testament to how humor can open hearts and create lasting bonds when delivered thoughtfully and reciprocated sincerely. As Sarah's words hung in the air, the initial silence gradually shifted. Faces that had been tense with uncertainty began to transform, morphing from stunned shock into a spectrum of reactions. Some guests blinked rapidly, trying to register what they had just heard, while others leaned in closer, their expressions shifting from confusion to delight. For a moment, it felt as though time stretched thin. Everyone was suspended in this shared space of collective disbelief mixed with anticipation. Jason himself stood wide-eyed, struck not only by the brilliance of her retort, but also by the sudden realization that he had just unwittingly ignited a spark in the room. Then, like a wave crashing onto the shore, laughter erupted, first from a few corners before it cascaded throughout the gathering. It started with an older veteran clapping his hands together and letting out a full-bodied belly laugh. His joy seemed contagious as others quickly joined in, punctuating their laughter with enthusiastic nods toward Sarah. The warmth turned into a cascade of humor and connection as people called out light-hearted teasing about their own counts. Even those who had initially looked uncertain or alarmed now wore broad smiles on their faces. The somberness that had briefly lingered following Jason's question evaporated like morning mist under the sun's rays. Laughter filled every nook and cranny of the community center, washing over everyone and making them feel lighter, inviting new conversations to emerge amid the din. Jason couldn't help but chuckle along as disbelief transformed into admiration for Sarah's cleverness. "I should have seen that coming," he admitted aloud, drawing more laughs from around the room. Her response had clearly resonated well beyond just snappy banter. It demonstrated her ability to bring levity into even a serious conversation. On one side of the room, a group of civilian volunteers exchanged amazed glances. They whispered amongst themselves about Sarah's confidence and how she managed to stand her ground against one of the strongest figures present, the Navy SEAL who had made them all hold their breath half a moment ago. As conversations resumed and spirits soared higher than before, individuals began approaching Sarah one by one to compliment her on her quick thinking and poise. The compliments flowed like champagne at a celebration, genuine appreciation radiating through each interaction, crafting bonds that would last long after this evening ended. Amidst all the delight and excitement circulating around them, there were moments where small groups huddled together recounting what had transpired just moments before, some animatedly reenacting Sarah's delivery, while others wiped tears of joy from their eyes. She became an instant focal point as guests began referencing her "save count" comment playfully in their chats for hours afterward. The energy in the room surged to new heights as laughter echoed off walls adorned with banners honoring veterans and sharing stories right next to camaraderie, both key elements celebrating not only those who served, but now also elevating someone who simply embodied courage in every way imaginable. In what could have been a moment filled with discomfort, ultimately birthed new energy. An unforgettable bond formed through humor arose, reminding everyone present how connections could deepen unexpectedly when an audacious joke accidentally crossed paths with sharp wit delivered right on cue. As laughter erupted in the aftermath of Sarah's clever comeback, the atmosphere shifted dramatically. The initial shock that gripped the gathering melted away, replaced by a more relaxed and jovial spirit. Jason, still riding the wave of Sarah's response, was the first to leap into the fray, his voice carrying through the laughter. "Okay, Okay, so what's your secret? Do I need to start taking notes? He chuckled, feigning a serious expression, as if he were a student learning from the master. His playful banter served as an effective icebreaker, and the guests immediately jumped on the opportunity to join in. One of the older veterans, a man with a white beard and a twinkle in his eye, stood up and declared loudly, "Well, my kill count is about as mythical as Bigfoot, but I sure know a thing or two about saving those lost socks from the dryer monster." His anecdote caught everyone off guard, and another wave of laughter cascaded through the room. Others followed suit, eager to turn their nervous energy into fun. A young woman chimed in, "My only skill is dodging awkward family gatherings and rescuing the last cookie. I'd say that's pretty heroic." These light-hearted quips encouraged everyone to share their own humorous takes on unexpected heroics, causing a ripple effect of storytelling that further eased any lingering tension. Guests who had been silently observing moments ago now leaned into conversations, animatedly discussing their own quirky kills and saves. The air filled with hearty laughter and playful teasing that wrapped around them like a warm blanket. They began acknowledging each other's contributions with playful nudges and smiles, transforming the gathering into a lively tableau of camaraderie. In this newfound spirit, someone shouted from across the room, "How about we start handing out badges for bravery and humor? Sarah, you're the first recipient." This prompted claps and cheers from the crowd as people began to mimic pinning non-existent badges on Sarah's shirt, celebrating her quick wit. In that moment, even Jason couldn't help but appreciate the magic of humor and how it had forged this instant bond among strangers. He felt a sense of admiration towards Sarah for being the catalyst behind such an uplifting turn of events. What had begun as a risky joke had instead blossomed into a colorful sharing of moments that spoke to their shared humanity. Even conversations about deeper topics like service and sacrifice began flowing more freely amidst the laughter. Veterans recounted poignant stories sprinkled with light-hearted humor, weaving personal anecdotes into a rich tapestry of experiences that resonated within the room. As the evening continued, glasses clinked together in cheers of celebration. Smiles lingered longer on faces now transformed by genuine connection. The ice that had once felt insurmountable had shattered completely. The laughter echoed off walls adorned with banners celebrating bravery, turning what could have been an uncomfortable silence into an unforgettable moment of unity. Everyone realized how peering into shared experiences, even through humor, could create spaces where barriers dissolved effortlessly. This celebration became not just an event for honoring veterans, but also a joyful reminder of community, acceptance, and the lightness of shared laughter, echoing long after they'd all parted ways. As the evening unfolded, it became increasingly clear that humor had played a pivotal role in transforming the atmosphere of the gathering. In a setting dedicated to honoring veterans, where stories of bravery and sacrifice were often shared with solemnity, Sarah's clever response reminded everyone that laughter has a unique ability to bridge divides and bring people together, even in serious situations. Humor serves as a powerful tool for connection. It allows individuals to share experiences without the weight of formality or discomfort. In moments of tension, such as when Jason jokingly asked about Sarah's kill count, humor offered a way to navigate potentially awkward interactions. Instead of retreating into silence or discomfort, Sarah's witty comeback created an opening for laughter, inviting others to engage with her in a light-hearted way. For many, laughter is a universal language. It transcends barriers of age, background, and circumstance, As guests began sharing their own humorous anecdotes following Sarah's quip, they bonded over shared laughter that felt inclusive and warm. Each story woven into the evening reinforced the idea that no matter how different their lives might be, they could all relate through humor. It fostered an environment where vulnerability could coexist with lightness. Attendees felt safe enough to share both poignant moments and silly tales. Moreover, humor alleviates stress and creates camaraderie. In settings where emotions run high, like gatherings honoring those who have served, laughter can serve as an emotional release valve. It allows participants to step back from heavier topics while still acknowledging their importance. When veterans shared personal stories infused with humor, it humanized their experiences and made them relatable to those who may not fully understand the challenges they faced. In this context, Sarah's response was not just a retort. It opened the door for deeper conversations about resilience and courage. The laughter that followed was not merely amusement. It represented a collective acknowledgement of shared humanity, a reminder that while life can indeed be serious and filled with challenges, there is always room for joy and connection. Through humor's ability to foster acceptance, individuals at the event felt empowered to express themselves more freely. They began to see one another not just as veterans or civilians, but as friends united by common experiences, both uplifting and challenging. It was in these moments that friendships blossomed. Strong bonds formed through shared laughter would leave lasting impressions long after they said their goodbyes. As the night progressed and guests continued exchanging jokes and heartfelt stories, Jason realized how much he had underestimated the power of humor in building connections among strangers. He observed how it melted away walls of formality and fear, creating space for authenticity. In retrospect, what could have been a night rooted solely in reflection became instead a celebration of life, filled with vibrancy, understanding, and laughter echoing against walls adorned with tributes to bravery. It was evident that humor had turned what started as an awkward moment into an unforgettable evening of togetherness, a living testament to how laughter can indeed resonate even in the most serious of circumstances. Ultimately, it reminded everyone present that whether through shared challenges or lighthearted banter, they were all part of something greater, a community strengthened by its capacity for joy amidst adversity. As the laughter settled into a comfortable hum, the mood shifted from one of tension to one of shared joy. Sarah's witty response had acted like a catalyst, igniting not only laughter, but also forming connections among attendees that were previously lacking. The atmosphere in the community center became remarkably warm and inviting as guests began to engage more openly. With newfound confidence, individuals started weaving their own stories into the fabric of the evening. Conversations flourished around tables as laughter bounced off the walls, creating an invigorating energy that encapsulated everyone present. Friends began poking fun at each other playfully, while veterans and civilians bonded over shared experiences of heartache and triumph. Jason watched in awe as small groups formed around him, each animated discussion contributing to a tapestry of camaraderie. One veteran shared a hilarious story about an embarrassing moment during training, something that elicited roars of laughter and relatable nods. Another guest eagerly jumped in with tales of their own mishaps, turning what might have been uncomfortable memories into moments of connection through humor. The initial distance between strangers faded away as they found common ground in laughter. There was something uplifting about sharing lighthearted moments amidst a gathering meant to honor service and sacrifice. The encounter with Sarah sparked this dynamic shift, What could have remained an awkward interaction blossomed into a celebration of togetherness, showcasing how humor can enrich relationships and foster empathy. People who had come as acquaintances or mere strangers found themselves sharing more than just laughs. They began opening up about their lives, the challenges they faced during service or the meaningful experiences that shaped them after returning home. Those conversations provided opportunities for deeper understanding and strengthened bonds within the group. One particularly moving moment occurred when an older veteran approached Sarah to thank her for her response. He shared his own journey, admitting how often he struggled with feelings of isolation after leaving the military. "You reminded me tonight that it's okay to laugh," he said, his voice filled with gratitude. In turn, Sarah smiled warmly and expressed her appreciation for his service, noting how his bravery inspired her work with veterans. This exchange not only solidified their connection, but also sparked similar moments among others. The room buzzed with authenticity. People listened intently as stories unfolded, appreciating each other's vulnerabilities, while simultaneously recognizing strength in vulnerability itself. This atmosphere was nurturing. It allowed everyone to feel valued and understood. As time passed, the dance of camaraderie continued. People were laughing freely with one another, rather than simply participating in polite conversation. Jason soon found himself engaged in deep discussions about life after service, while still mixing in humor with new friends he never expected to meet that night. By the end of the evening, what had begun as just another charity event turned into something special, a collective experience marked by genuine interactions and heartfelt connections, combated with joy through humor. When it finally came time to say goodbye, attendees exchanged contact information or even made plans to meet again, thrilled by the unexpected friendships formed that night. As they departed from the community center, the warmth lingered long after they stepped outside, a testament to how a single witty comment could lead to greater camaraderie among all those present and showcase the incredible power of humor to unite hearts and souls across varying backgrounds and experiences. As the evening drew to a close and guests began to depart, the lessons learned from that transformative gathering lingered in the air, resonating with everyone present. The night had started with a moment of tension, but it evolved into a powerful reminder of the importance of humor, bravery, and the courage to connect with others. One of the most significant insights attendees walked away with was the understanding that humor serves not only as entertainment, but also as a vital tool for fostering resilience. Sarah's quick wit had turned an awkward moment into an opportunity for laughter and connection, showcasing how lightheartedness can break down barriers. Guests reflected on how laughter could alleviate stress and create bonds where there might have been discomfort. Many realized that embracing humor in serious situations allowed them to navigate challenging conversations about service, sacrifice, and personal experiences more easily. Moreover, the evening highlighted the value of bravery, not just in a military sense, but in everyday interactions. It took courage for Sarah to respond so boldly to Jason's joke, transforming it into a moment of empowerment for herself and those around her. Attendees learned that vulnerability could be an act of bravery in itself. Sharing personal stories about triumphs and struggles created pathways to understanding one another on deeper levels. This revelation served to remind everyone that while they may come from different backgrounds or experiences, their shared humanity connected them in meaningful ways. The profound impact of those connections did not go unnoticed, as attendees exchanged contact information and made plans to meet again. Many realized that this event had allowed them to step outside their comfort zones, forging friendships that would last well beyond the evening. Conversations about life after service became intertwined with laughter and camaraderie, illustrating how mutual understanding can blossom when people approach each other with open hearts. Jason found himself reflecting on how easily he had underestimated the potential for connection through humor. He acknowledged that what initially seemed like an unwise comment had inadvertently opened doors for deeper relationships among people who might never have interacted otherwise. He felt inspired by the way everyone embraced vulnerability throughout the evening, whether through humorous anecdotes or heartfelt stories, that ultimately broke down walls and fostered empathy. As guests shared their takeaway moments during their farewells, it became evident that this gathering was about much more than celebrating veterans. It was also about recognizing bravery in various forms. People expressed gratitude for the opportunity to connect with others and appreciated the reminder that life is richer when we dare to share laughter amid serious discussions. In reflecting on these lessons learned, attendees left feeling empowered, not just by their individual experiences, but by the collective spirit they had cultivated together. The memory of this event would resonate within them long after they returned home. It stood as a testament to how humor can spark connection, even in serious gatherings. Ultimately, this charity event became more than just a night of honoring veterans. It transformed into an unforgettable experience filled with insights about resilience, understanding, and shared humanity. As they stepped outside into the evening air, they carried with them a renewed sense of community, a bond strengthened through laughter and camaraderie that promised to endure well into the future. As the guests departed from the lively community center, the echoes of laughter and shared stories lingered in the air, highlighting how a simple, light-hearted moment could leave a lasting impact on friendships and teamwork. What started as a potentially awkward encounter transformed into a meaningful experience that united all present. This gathering demonstrated that humor is not just a means of entertainment. It is an essential ingredient in building connections and fostering strong relationships among individuals. In any setting, be it a charity event, workplace, or social gathering, light-hearted moments create an atmosphere where people feel safe to express themselves authentically. Sarah's clever response to Jason's joking question about her kill count revealed how humor can dissolve tension and encourage openness. As guests engaged in laughter and playful banter, they forged bonds that went beyond superficial interactions. They explored each other's stories, vulnerabilities, and joys, illustrating how humor can bridge gaps between diverse backgrounds. Such moments are vital because they remind us that behind every uniform or title lies a person with unique experiences and emotions. By embracing humor, attendees learned to appreciate their shared humanity, forging connections that might not have developed in a more serious or somber setting. This camaraderie fostered not only friendships, but also teamwork, reinforcing the idea that working together becomes more manageable when people feel connected. Furthermore, the laughter shared during this event created a sense of belonging among attendees. As they reflected on their individual experiences, they found solace in knowing that others faced similar challenges and triumphs. This newfound understanding laid the groundwork for deeper collaboration in future endeavors. When individuals work together as friends, rather than just colleagues or acquaintances, they become more motivated to support one another through challenges. The foundation established during this evening, the combined power of humor and connection, offers valuable lessons for any team dynamic. It highlighted the importance of maintaining an environment where lightheartedness is encouraged, even when discussing serious topics. As teams navigate high-stress situations or challenging projects, moments of laughter can serve to alleviate pressure and foster creativity. Moreover, reflecting on shared experiences allows members to connect on a personal level that strengthens group cohesion. When team members feel comfortable enough to share jokes or lighthearted anecdotes amidst their tasks, it cultivates trust and reinforces their relationships. These bonds can lead to increased collaboration, as individuals feel more inclined to share ideas openly and seek support from one another. As this charity event came to a close, the warmth generated by Sarah's quick wit had transformed what could have been an ordinary evening into an extraordinary experience filled with love and connection. It serves as a reminder that humor can be a powerful catalyst for relational growth, facilitating understanding and resilience even in serious moments. Ultimately, the lessons learned at this gathering extend far beyond those present. They resonate deeply wherever human connections thrive. By holding space for laughter amid challenges, we open doors to deeper relationships and stronger teamwork, transforming not just gatherings, but entire communities into places of joy and support for one another. As everyone stepped out into the night with hearts full of gratitude and new friendships formed through laughter, they carried with them the realization that lighthearted moments indeed have lasting effects on friendships and teamwork alike.